Pay me, pay me, pay me my silver now. Pay me or go to jail. Pay me my silver now.
Good morning. Bix Weir, roadrunner.com with your morning horrors. Your sip of Chaga C60 coffee. Oh my God. Just when you think that you've learned everything you need to know about silver, a new silver conspiracy jumps up that is just shocking. Absolutely shocking. I hinted at it yesterday, but I hadn't done the research. I ran some numbers, and this is going to blow your mind. But first, let's take a look at silver. It's pretty much staying still at $22.80. The open interest, interestingly, they have, let's see, what is it? They've barely delivered half of what is coming this month. I don't know what's going on, but as you can see, open interest deliveries went up 498. The change is only 345, so someone added 150 to the open interest yesterday. 150 contracts. It happens. That's why I think it's going to be closer to 30 million ounces delivered than 25 million ounces delivered. But we'll see, right? You got to wait for the end of the month. Remember, at any time, any person can go in and buy a silver futures contract and stand for delivery that same day. And apparently, at least 150 contracts was done that way. All right. Again, the deliveries right now, we stand at 26.85 with open interest at 24.77. So lots to go. Normally by now, at least 3/4 of the deliveries are released. But why haven't they? Because probably they don't have the metal. And remember, somebody, probably Bank of America, did one of these EFRs yesterday, or a couple days ago, exchange for risk, and took out 10 million ounces that were set for delivery. It's the COMEX. You know, it's Terry Duffy's criminal exchange. He just does it better than Sam Bankman-Fried, the market rigging. And he's got the regulators who are fucking dumb, or on the side of the manipulation, which I will show you. Rustin Benham is definitely on the side of the manipulation. Remember, he said we had to tamp down the price of silver? I discovered how they did it. Part of the mechanism. And there's a ton of mechanisms they use, but it involves the U.S. government. And I have proof of that. Let's get there. And it all has to do with this woman, Ventris Gibson. Ventris Gibson, the sitting head of the mint. Remember that name. She'll go down in history as the most corrupt mint official ever. Of course, it's the Biden administration. Why am I saying that, Bix? Why are you saying that? It's very simple. The U.S. Mint is running a massive silver short hedge position. And it's not for economic reasons. In 2021, the U.S. Mint lost $111 million on their silver hedges. It was hidden in the data, and I'll show you the data. It was hidden in the data because gold made so much. Now, gold, they don't do hedges with gold. Only silver gets that kind of treatment at the U.S. Mint. And, oh, by the way, she started as an acting mint director in 2020, where there was another, what was it, $72 million loss. So I did a little spreadsheet here. I'm still working on it, but the reality is, here's how, I'm not going to tell you this. I'm going to let the mint tell you this, how their hedge book is supposed to work. Let's take a look right here. This is from the U.S. Mint annual report. The Mint engages in economic hedging program to avoid the effects of fluctuating silver costs as a result of the changes in market prices. Not gold, not platinum, not palladium, just silver. The Mint engages the derivatives used for economic hedging in this program do not qualify for hedge accounting. At the time of the purchase of silver inventory used in the production of silver coins, the Mint, they keep throwing economically. Basically, the Mint puts a short on when they buy an ounce of silver. At the time of purchase of silver used in the production of silver coins. So the U.S. Mint goes to the COMEX and buys silver and shorts silver. Yes, they take delivery of silver on the COMEX or the LBMA, but they definitely put a short on the COMEX. Okay, that's fine. That's legitimate hedging. That's what should happen, not what does happen. But at the time of the purchase of silver inventory used in the production of coins, the mint economically hedges its silver inventory using a silver forward derivative contract. So they short a forward derivative contract because you got to process it and then you got to sell it. The silver forward derivative contract is recorded on the balance sheet at fair value, with changes in fair value recorded in gross cost in the statement of net cost. The silver forward derivative contract is settled as silver coins are sold to authorized purchasers, and a gain or loss is recognized. So that's the time they have, when they sell those silver eagles, they have to close out that short, which means buying pressure on the COMEX. Why do you think Ventures Gibson isn't releasing all these coins? Now it says the silver forward derivative contract is settled. The silver coins are sold to authorized purchasers, and a gain or loss is recognized, which is expected to substantially offset the gain or loss on the function and price of the silver inventory during the time of the forward position remains open. So on the years that the silver price goes down, they're going to make money on these hedges, which offsets the price they bought the silver at. On the years that silver price goes up, it's the opposite. They're going to lose money on the hedges, but they regain it on the silver sold. Okay. Just so we know, that's all that they do. They're not supposed to do anything else, right? Okay. Let's take a look here. Hey, buddy. Buddy's causing trouble. Let's take a look. Here we go. This is from the 2021 annual report. Number 19, derivative financial instruments. The mint recorded net losses of $111.7 million on its silver forward contract in 2021 compared to net loss of $72 million in 2020. I was like, what? Wait a minute. This makes no sense. The price of silver went down in 2021. They should have made money on those unless they're naked hedging or they're making more silver than they're telling us. So let's take a look. Here's a little table I put together. These are the years. This took a lot of work because it has to be the fiscal year of the United States. That's when these losses were taken. So I got to end September 30th. By the way, somebody corrected me that there's not 31 days in September. Thank you for that. I think I said 31 days. Anyway, September 30th is when the end of the U.S. government fiscal year, meaning the end of the U.S. Mint's fiscal year. That's when they have to declare, hey, here's how much we gained or lost. So I ran took quite a bit of work, but I got geeky like that. I ran how much silver eagles were produced in that fiscal year, and then how much the price of silver gained or lost during that fiscal year. And on the years that the silver price goes down, they should have a plus number in the derivative book. And the opposite goes, if the silver price goes up, they should have a loss, because that's what the silver does. You're hedging your position, right? And for most of the time, yes, that's the way it worked. There was a time in 2013 when we did massive amount of silver that there was a big disconnect because the U.S. Mint didn't hedge much. They didn't hedge much, and it's a good thing because the price went up crazy. They ended up making the net profit per coin $12.99 per coin. Now that's just on a small amount of hedges, though. And this is the way I figured this out, is you take the total gain or loss per coin on the hedge and you add it to the total gain or loss for the silver per ounce. I mean, this isn't rocket science. It's not exact, of course. I don't have the other side of the equation. I don't have exactly how much they made when they sold the silver, not counting the hedges. But it should be in the neighborhood. If they're hedging their whole book, and they haven't been hedging their whole book, obviously, because like this situation, silver went from $34 in 2013, $34.50 down to $21.60. That's a pretty damn big drop. That's why they lost so much, right? So just on the silver loss, they lost $12.90 if they held for the whole year. This is just, it is literally just, I was working with the data I had, but the net, it should be on the right side of the plus or minus. So when silver goes down, this should have been plus. If they were hedging silver in 2013, I have no idea how they lost money because the price is with silver shorts, right? And this is just the hedge. They lost $4 million in 2013 on the hedge, which means, and the price of silver went from 34 to 21, which means they were betting long. The U.S. Mint shouldn't be a gambling institution. But, I mean, all that doesn't matter because look at, I mean, all that stuff, these are the numbers that should be coming out right here. In 2014, a huge anomaly. What happened in 2014? We had the price go from $21 to $16. First of all, they lost so much money on their silver purchases in 2013 that they said, holy shit, what are we doing? Let's put more hedges on, which they did. The price of silver went down again, but they didn't do enough again because they lost money again. So how is it that the U.S. Mint loses money when they put on silver shorts? Because it's a con, but it's a con on a small scale. $6 million may sound like a lot of money to you and me, but to the U.S. Mint and the size of this operation is not that big a deal. But now we're getting into the big money. So here's a situation in 2015 where the price of silver went down $1.80. So it's minus $1.80 on the price of silver, but they made $1.63 on the hedges, which is great. That's about even. The net is 13-cent difference. That's about where they should be every year because it was a massive year. They made 47 million. Wait, was 14 or 15? Hang on. The big one was, the big one was 15. Yeah, 15. So right here, they made 47 million coins. They made so much money on their hedges when the price of silver went down because they went huge, because they had a lot. They had to do a lot, right? The price of silver went down. They should have made 77 million because they lost 77 million on the coin purchase. That's the way the hedge book should work, right? Are you with me? Good. And the next year they got cocky. 41 million coins, and the price of silver went up big. So they're not doing their full hedge book, but they lost 40, and they should lose 40. They lose on the silver shorts when the price goes up, which is supposed to level it out. And it came out, they made $3.59. That's actually not, if you're trying to hedge your whole book, that's not a good conclusion. It might sound like a good conclusion. You made $3.59 more on each coin with the rise in the price of silver. But the reality is with hedges, you should be breaking even on the hedges. Again, this is not exact because I don't have exactly when they purchased during the year. But here's where it gets really ugly, embarrassing, and criminal. Starting in 2020. In 2020, the Mint made half of what they made way back when at 22,710,000 coins, but they lost $70 million on the silver hedges. Now the price of silver went from $17.50 to $23.68, so you should lose. You should lose, but $70 million when you're only making 22 million coins? I had to scratch my head. I'm like, what the hell? And then we have 2020. This is just ridiculous on the face of it. The price of silver actually went down in 2020 from $23.68 to $22.50, which means the hedge book should have made money. And they are posting a loss of $110 million on their hedge book. That is not a hedge book. That is naked shorting the price of silver and getting burned at it. That's what that is. 111 million. Look at 34 million was the total volume too in this fiscal year. They lost $3.23 on the hedge, and they lost $1.18 on the silver. Those are the things that are supposed to even out. A total loss in 2021. You want to know why your silver eagles are so expensive? Total loss in 2021 of $4.41 per silver eagle. With the loss in the hedge book and the decrease in the price of silver. Again, these numbers, I would need the exact figures of when these purchases took place within the year and things like that to get. But the reality is these two numbers should never have been there. Never, ever have been there. a loss of $72 million, and especially 2021, where the price of silver went down, a loss of $100 million on a hedge book. Now, what happened in those years that made this just unbelievable fuck up at the U.S. Mint? What happened? This happened. Ventris Gibson. Look when she took charge on October 25th, 2021. October 25th, 2021. What happened in 2021? Bang. Massive criminal, and it went against the direction of silver. Criminal hedging, naked hedging by the U.S. Mint. $111 million. And I can't wait to see what happens in 2022. Now remember, January of 2021, it was Rustin Benham that said, we tamped down the price of silver when the silver was about to hit $30. Oh my God. We tamped down the price of silver. What did they tamp it down with? They got the U.S. Mint to go massive short on the hedge book to keep the price down. And it was not correlated at all to the coins that they were making. Again, the hedge loss was $3.23. The silver loss was $1.18, means $4.41. That's fraud, my friends. I want to see the hedge book this year. And then string these motherfuckers up. We won't know this number until, I don't know, when they release their annual report. I think it's sometime in April. But this is fraud at the largest amount. Ventris Gibson gets in and literally stops making silver eagles, but blows up the hedge book. 2021, October, this is when she got in. Look at, we were having a good year. 4.7, 3.1, 4.0, 2.8, 3.1, 3.9. Up until September, 2.7. October, Ventris Gibson is officially the head of the mint. 1.5. 5 million because they take 2 months off. The U.S. Mint, I don't know why. And then 1.5, 1, 850,000, 1.3, 925,000, 850,000, 850,000, 833,000. All she's doing is throwing naked shorts out there, blowing up the U.S. Mint hedge book, and not making any silver coins. This is fraud at its finest at the U.S. Mint. What I want to know from the U.S. Mint is how this can possibly happen. How could you lose $111 million on your silver hedges when the price of silver went down in 2021? Inquiring minds want to know. The CFTC, hey, if you want to do your job and see who's rigging the price of silver, here's a great chance. The U.S. Mint, for some reason on their economical hedges, lost $111 million when the price of silver went down. How is that possible? Unless they aren't even hedging the price of silver, they're throwing massive naked shorts on it. Or there is another option. There's another possibility. Go to the Road to Ruta. You can find out the other possibility. The other possibility is we're going to a gold and silver standard. And by the way, she didn't make what she said she made. She didn't make 15.9 million silver eagles. What if she made 100 million silver eagles? 150 million silver eagles and was playing the same game? Hey, if you're that would make it, see, it still doesn't make sense for 2011. Doesn't matter how many silver eagles you made. Your hedge book should have been positive because the price of silver was negative. Anyway, know those numbers. They can't be exact. We have to know the day they purchased, the day they sold, the day they put on the hedge, and the day they took off the hedge. But the reality is, if the overall price of silver during the whole year was negative, your hedge book should be positive. That's how hedging works. Anyway, you want to learn more, go to roadtoruta.com. Hit subscribe today. We'll send you the coolest silver coin ever. Unhedged, completely unhedged silver Ruta coin. Go check it out. I don't know how long I'll be giving these away. They're so cool. I hope everybody who follows the Road to Ruta gets one, but we will stop when silver hits $30. We're going to stop giving away these coins. And at some point, we'll sell them when they're worth, $5,000 a piece. That's the way it is. This is Bix Weir. I'll talk to you later.